Hello everybody and welcome back to Dragon Age Veilguard, where I'm attempting a new lighting thing for the last couple days that I'm at my sister's place. So maybe kind of a silly time to do it, but you know, we're gonna play with things even this late in the game. In the game as in, you know, how long I've been recording, but also I guess the game itself. It is a little bit of a problem because I can't really see the left side of the screen super well, but holy cow, look at that. Oh, there is some movement. The clouds move. I didn't realize that. I love Ghost of Tsushima photo mode because it doesn't show up in the photo very well in this, like, at all, obviously, because the photo's a still image, but they let you have, like, the cherry blossoms or the crickets or the moths or the ash flying through, and it looks so cool, and it's literally just made for like aesthetic videos, but like it's so perfect and I love it very, very much. Yeah, I like tilt to the side a little. I told you I had the ring light, I still have the lamp up, like I'm trying to make it look so I'm not so washed out maybe, or so dark. Like, I don't know, you know? I guess it's just the consistency, right? Where, like, you need to be consistently light or consistently dark, like, in your lighting. Otherwise, the camera and the visuals are a little off, and it's hard to adjust for. Anyway, what do I want to do? I was looking at going to Rivain. We should maybe do Treviso first. Maybe we do Treviso first. Because I desperately want to expose the stupid cousin as the stupid spy. Obviously, the stupid cousin has more people working for him, but like, it's kind of the reason I'm avoiding it too, is because I'm just like, it's so frustrating. It's literally at least 50% of the reason I decided not to romance, what's his name, Lucanis. Is that he's so dumb. He's so dumb. He's visually and voice perfect, right? Like, listen, I love me some of that, like, demon wing stuff. Good. Love that. Like, broody assassin type, I've already fallen for it in the past. Like, easy peasy win for me, you know? But, like, and he's a crow, right? Again, I've already fallen for that before, and it's not a problem for me, you know? But like, oh, he's so dumb. He's a tragic man with like some light, like nice, like gray hairs and like really nice crow's feet on his face. Like, oh, perfect. Alas, I have to go with the younger man. Oh my goodness. Let's do this one first. Let's run back to ye old house, because I think I've done everything I can here for now. Again, it's been like 2 days since I've played. I like to travel through the crossroads if I can, but traveling all the way back across this landscape is daunting, to say the least. Treviso. Oh, I can't wait to play as a Gray Warden. Please, game, don't do this to me. Please, for the love of the creators and the maker and the stone and the Qun and anything else. Please, game, don't stop doing that. The original entity, creator, anything. I will bring these two while I run, willy-nilly though.
Good gloom, Howler. You have something to follow.
The more I learn, the closer I get.
There's some confidence.
You chase your share of targets.
I never know how it will end. Not for sure.
The Griffins are at stake. This ends when we save them.
We sail.
Anyway, I feel like there's cat hair everywhere. The new place is, there is a cat, but there's not a cat upstairs. So, we'll see if there's less cat hair. But I always feel like I'm, like, rubbing my face, because I'm, like, I feel like there's cat hair floating everywhere. It gets stuck on my face. I just find this view somewhat compelling, honestly. mysterious floating buildings. Who knows why they're there. Ooh, this is a nice one too, huh? A reverse image, almost. It's fun to play with compositions that are, like, very 3D, right? Where it's, like, not just looking out, but, like, up and down, and... I really love the look of the spires. I think those spires are Treviso. And then we obviously have the necropolis stuff as well. Oh! First mention of the other moon. I mentioned this, like, just recently, right? Fate-bound gems said to have rained down from a waning Satina, the smaller moon. Facets cut by dying masters. Each reflect a path not taken. Sure. I'll buy it. Yeah, we already did that, I feel like. Interesting. A stone toad. Toad. Old stories claim Dumat, the old god of silence, had a toad companion. Usually silent itself, those who heard the toad croak would die soon after. Interesting. A Venator declaration of ultimate victory over the Shadow Dragons, forever removing their filth from the history of Tevinter. Again. They are nothing, if not consistent. We aim for nothing. I like that. Instead of, yeah, you know, it's like, it took me a second, really, honestly. But I was like, they are nothing. You know what I mean? If not consistent. And this is the Shadow Dragons aim for nothing. I like that. I will buy that also. Not that I know how much more I need for the Caretaker, but it's fun to get. I think I have like 1 or 2 more levels for the Caretaker, but just something to, you know, keep in mind, I guess. Oh. Well, I brought these 2 out in the hopes that they would talk more. There was one spot where they usually chat, and they didn't chat, so it was a little weird. Let's bring Emmerich and Lucanis. I think a lot of nobody's abilities to get along. It's been a while. Well, what if we bring Neve and Lucanis? Again, their abilities don't necessarily match. But this is a good combo. My sister, one of my youngest sisters, doesn't like Neve because, well, I'm not going to spoil that, actually. You guys want to chit-chat? I'm going to run over and see if they'll chit-chat because it's been a while since we've heard them chit-chat. And there's the spot just on that side of the market that sometimes people chat at. Are we just not feeling chatty today? The game kept jittering and now everyone's nervous and won't talk. Treviso, my beloved. Whomst I love. I just uploaded the video, I think, where I put this outfit on Neve. And my friend was like, we love the outfit, right? But she's not necessarily a fan of the frisbee hat. I don't know what it is. I really like it. It's like so bold, I guess. I don't know. It's like nothing I would wear, but like, I think it's neat. Alright, emo boy.
I don't have anything right now.
Neither do I, honestly. Do we have...
Stock up with whatever you need.
No. Wow! We got... Ooh. Oh, I will level that up for him. I don't know if he's got it on right now. It's always nice to have them. Because it is, unlike in Inquisition, where I really only had them use, like, we had a regular set of weapons, and I specifically had a dragon killing set of weapons, because there's, like, 12 dragons total in that game. And the fights were really, really fun. So I had, like, specifically, like, I had, like, elemental, like, armors for them, and then dragon killing weapons for them. But every other weapon that they had, you know, everything they wore for the rest of the time was fine, you know, for everything else. But in this game, it is nice to switch around. I do kind of want to, like, use an axe. I think that would be so fun, but it just doesn't fit my vibe very well. And I feel like they're just not carrying it right. I don't know if that's just me. Oh. Plumage of the Mad Crow. I think I have seen this, but I'm like, oh, interesting. Oh, is this one? I cannot see it. Thank you. Air, anything new?
There is much to be done. We can't let the cruelty of others shape us.
Ain't that the truth? That sounds facetious, but honestly, something I needed to hear today. But, where is... Ooh, wait. I'm like, where is the people that I know? No, nothing new.
Making our voices heard. This is feeling like old times. The good ones.
Thank you for the clarification.
I meant
What?
So did I.
The fighting back, making our voices heard, feels like the good days. Come on. I missed, there was like one, I might have to listen to like if somebody's got like a compilation of their dialogue, because there was one especially juicy one that I was overhearing through a wall on accident, and I was like on this backside here, and I was like, I missed it, but it was them talking about their former relationship, and I'm like, I want to know. I am nothing but a gossip.
Thank you for spurring this rebellion, Rook. It's good to see Viago energized.
When have I ever
Yeah?
not been energized?
Certain mornings.
Only after certain evenings.
I like these two a
You
lot.
two are confident we can take the butcher when the time's right?
Ending one life is a punctuation. There is much more to be said first.
Let's not craft a treatise when a limerick can suffice.
And that is why your epitaphs are legendary.
Oh, God, these two. I know my sister right now. She's all, she loves Antoine and Revka. Is that the name? The two wardens. And I'm like, listen, I like them, but like, if I have to talk about like couples that I think are super, super great, it's these two.
Nothing new.
Okay. These two spark joy. Antoine's a Frenchman. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You know? No offense.
I like dolls. I make them.
Really? I'd like to learn that if you wouldn't mind teaching me.
I'll show you. It's easy once you get the hang of it.
We're talking about a guy whose eyes are as black as like a dead doll, and then he's like, I make dolls, like totally missing the point. And she's like, oh, really? Maybe, I mean, I'd love to do that. It'd be really nice, you know? That's not exactly how it went down, but still, come on, we were talking about a guy who has like soulless eyes, and then just like totally...
All right, just tell me what you're thinking. At the chantry, Spite, you know what happened. I don't...
All right. You want to know what I'm thinking? It's less about the demon, more about the blood magic. There's something knotted up in there. And if you're waiting for me to look at you different, hate to disappoint. No, that's a lie. I enjoy it.
I think I want to say thank you, but I'm not sure.
I get that a lot.
I actually really like these two. Okay, slight spoiler for what I think will happen potentially is that there are everybody, your companions can have relationships with each other, which is something I desperately wanted in this game, and I enjoyed it so much when it happened in Inquisition, right? And in this one, you can do it. It happens again. I don't think you have any influence over it, unlike in Inquisition necessarily. But I don't know that for sure. But from what my sister said that she's experienced, or not that she's heard, I think, because she's actually she's played 3 times and she's romanced Lucanis every time, and I'm like, girl, you need some help. But from what she's heard, also his outfit is so good. Lucanis and Neve can form a relationship if I think you don't pick either one, right? Or maybe you have to set your relationship in stone earlier, because I feel like I'm pretty far into the game and nothing. That was weird. Somebody just spawned in. Nothing's happened really between everybody else, but if nothing else, their banter, these two, I really like a lot. And these two have been in the squad since almost the beginning, right? So he knows she'll talk straight to him, right? Whereas Emmerich might talk around him. not in a mean way, just in like a ooh, like postulating. And but Lucanis knows that Neve will just give it to him straight. So, and she's not gonna look at him differently. We really haven't interacted much with the like I haven't brought him out much post him having an issue with spite in the Chantry when his cousin used blood magic to control him, and we're just going to ignore that. It's fine. It's not fine. I'm very upset about it, and I'm going to be upset about it forever. I do love this vibe, though. I would love to get some of these for my room. Purple and white lanterns. They're so beautiful. I think it's so funny. Like, I love the Necropolis. I love Arlathan Forest, you know. But something about these lanterns just really makes me love Treviso, and I'm very glad I didn't let it get mulched. Woo! Acrobatics! Here. That was very... Excuse me. Very nice. Food and herbs and friggin' an MLM. Oh, look at that. I was just like, I honestly just stopped because I was enjoying the city. I was like, wow, it's so pretty. I really like the city a lot, blah, blah, blah. And there's a big chest out there that I'm pretty sure I can have. But oh yes, we're finding the spy's gondola. Why did you give me something? Is this the right one? We are doing... The spies are elusive, but the traitors pair have carelessly left clues behind. The team must expose the plans of this crow and Venatori for the good of Treviso. So yeah. We've been getting hints of like 2 traitors in the crows. And now we are following up on some more stable clues that we have.
Demands we attack.
Well, is there a Venatori just yelling? What is going on? Why are you over there? They're just like flapping around over there, and nobody over here is like worried at all apparently. Is that a giant golden nug?
So, Alario.
Let me guess. You don't trust him either.
There's
Yes!
a plane with blood magic.
I
Yes!
know, but his family. I'll deal with it.
All right.
His family, I deal with it. No! Oh my gosh, we have a golden nug, I think. I'm going to die. Look at this. It's adorable. A call out to the Inquisition one that you could use to sync all of the weaponry and recipes for things that you had gotten throughout all the games, which was a very nice touch, honestly. I just think it's funny. Treviso. Whoop. But yeah, it was super handy in Inquisition where like you get all these like schematics and stuff, and it was such a pain to find them all over again. So it was really nice for like new game pluses to be able to just have access to them, to all of them that you had found, you know. Then you find like a really cool armor on one.
Who are you? Are you in league with those traitors?
Traitors?
Take them alive. I want them for question.
This is overkill for sure, but you know. It goes faster.
Those Venatori were also looking for the spies Chance sent us after.
I don't know what I was saying. I was saying something. You're distracted. Murder does that to a person. Oh, wow. Oh, this is a financial office. Okay. It's called the Street of Coins Finances. I mean, they've got an Andraste. Oh, there's a Fenharel statue in here? They have, like, the loyal dogs, but they're greyhound dogs, so they're not like the Mabari from Ferelden. Andraste. I'm just gonna... Vendetta. The door was open. I mean, it was openable. Vendetta. When seating is not limited by an occupation, all are welcome at the Cantori Diamond. But the most prestigious tables are invite only for the signature house game of Vendetta. In the game, played with the divination deck, Death and the Fool constantly trade ownership, eliminating a major arcana card with each pass. Hands are rebuilt with the minor arcana until Death at last takes the Fool, and the best final draw takes the pot. Outcomes can seem nebulous, and it is rumored that the entire exercise is a silent way to discuss contracts while hands are kept busy and away from weapons. These suspicions are always voiced by onlookers. The invited do not speak of Vendetta. By Philip Bar! Look at him there. Death and the Fool. Solas's card in the tarot deck is the Fool, I think. Well, he had a couple. I think one of them was Death, and one of them was the Fool. Or he is Death on one of his cards. Like, this is maybe supposed to be like, till Death at last takes the Fool. Like, it could be like, I'm totally reading into it, but like the Inquisitor or Stone, like the Rook, you know, whatever Rook you have. I like the way this is set up, and the floors are very nice. Again, we have more work done on Treviso. Oh, it's one of those invisible walls.
They're close.
Who's close? Why is there an elven sentinel in here? Resistant to ice. How nice, how nice, how nice. Interesting that they'd have such a thing in here. But anyway, we have more detail work in a freaking financial building in Treviso than we did on the freaking Andraste and Chantry in Menrathis. I'm never not gonna be mad about it. I'm not. That's gonna be like a bitter thing I carry with me for a long time. All those expectations gone. Oh, how convenient. I feel like this is probably going to have something significant at some point in the future in here, but for now I've gotten the chest out of it, and it's pretty. I honestly really like the floors. The floors are really beautifully tiled, beautifully apportioned. Oh yeah, they were doing a murder mystery.
This is where our Crow and Venatori spies were supposed to meet, Chant said.
Hi, did you guys see anything? Hi, there's blood right here. Did you guys see anything? Maps. Pearl, I don't know how, but they found us out. I've taken a small cut. Do not worry, it will mend. Come to our spot in the market. Be careful. The rest has been torn off.
Let's see if we can track them down in the market.
There's a map here, and it kind of looks like they got poisoned, like a cut was poisoned, maybe? But they took some things of value. Oh, hey, look at this. Also, Pearl, can I tell you that name? Like Lucanis, can I tell you that name? And, like, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I do know that person.
Neve,
oh.
When we met, you didn't trust me.
It wasn't personal.
It was just good sense. I felt the same.
Mm.
I knew it.
But I changed my mind.
Does this mean you trust me less, or you've fallen for my schemes?
Maybe I changed it too quickly.
Probably. But I changed mine, too.
Whee! Yay! God, Oh, look, his out. There was a cosplayer. I shared it on my Discord. I don't know. Somebody shared it with me. I don't know. And then I shared it with my sister and the Discord. But holy cow! I don't think it was this outfit, but like Lucanis has some of the best outfits in the game. Like him and Neve both, right? I mean, obviously Tosh is like a cut above the rest, but like, this one. So good. I will romance him someday. Even though it seems like kind of like you're romancing a brick wall a little bit, at least in my opinion. At least initially, right? Which I get it. Man's got like trauma from being tortured for a year, but we don't ever go into that enough. Like, I don't know. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm fine now. And I'm like, are you? Like, you bring it up a little bit, how you don't seem quite fine. It'd be nice to talk about that a little bit more, you know? No? Okay. Just bottle it up inside, I suppose. But I'll be romancing Emmerich next, so. What am I supposed to be doing? Searching for clues. Did you see anything? Recalcitrant crow?
How can I help you today?
I mean, I was like, am I supposed to talk to somebody? Oh. Oh, that's a pretty cat, though. Kitty cat, do you have anything for me? Hello, various crows. Oh, okay, here we go.
Ton of papers. More of that cipher. Were those spies trying to get rid of some evidence?
Well, let's pick it up and piece it together. Paper. Papier?
Another sign of that crow and Venatori.
And the things that have been fallen over. We should be asking the people. Like, hello, the people. Did somebody, like, break your stuff coming by earlier, you know? Was there an altercation?
It looks like one of our spies dropped a bag. They must have been in a hurry. The note inside said they'd be keeping out of sight in the market for a while.
Also, this is a griffin skull. Now I know that for sure. And you need to get that off your table right now. I will beat up. I think that's a griffin skull back there, too. How'd you get those? How did you get those? Those were supposed to be secrets. The lock on the next rendezvous spot is broken. I've enchanted its shot. Touch the braziers in the order I showed you, and it will open.
I think our crow and Venatori spies were here.
Touch the braziers in the order I showed you. I bet you that's the last one. I'm trying to see. Oh, okay. I was looking at the candles. Okay. Yeah. So I was right. I was trying to see if the candles were lit up at all in any way, but they're not. But there are 4 candles here. And there are 3 candles here. And there are 2 candles here. Everything has provenience. Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Because that is exactly the kind of thing that you're supposed to freaking do. Did you say it? Who said it? I don't like the sale of antiquities at all, because oftentimes you can fake provenience, and they do that all the time. They'll loot stuff out of the ground and still got dirt on it and be like, it was found in my grandmother's attic in 1970. Oh, how convenient that your thing was found. Its provenience is in the same year that there was like a Global Antiquities Act that went through that you can no longer sell things that are found after 1970. Crazy, you know? Like anything whose provenience came out of the ground after 1970, you can't just like steal anymore. Looking at you, British Museum. Nope, that was wrong. Okay. Anyway, I still don't like the idea that people can be like, I'm gonna buy something very precious that should be in a museum or back with its people. Just for kicks and giggles because it was found in 1960. And you're like, unethical at best. You know. But provenience is a trigger word for me. I'm like in a good and a bad way, I guess. Where I'm like, oh, provenience. Somebody knows what provenience is, you know. Because it's also like if we find things in their provenience, like it's an in situ in their situation when we're doing like surveys or excavations, right? If it's in situ, if its provenience is like, what's the word? If the provenience is
looking for anything in particular?
Original provenience, then it's where it was left when it dropped, essentially. Or, like, I mean, we still take into account, like, bioturbation, like animal movement, or water movement, or stuff like that. But, like, still, you know, blah, 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 blah. Anyway. It's just exciting to hear the word. I'm like, that's me! I know that one. Are you dead? Hello? Any crows on the ceiling? I wouldn't put it past them, even if you're a bad crow. Oh. I know I'm gonna investigate in a second, but like, what are these like magical posters back here? Are these like about Solus? I say that because there's like a bald elf looking creature, but I don't know. Interesting. I don't think I've seen these anywhere. We've got petals. And the mysterious notes and ciphers. Let's see.
Wait. Flowers? More wine? This crow and Venatori. Those weren't spy notes we found before. They were love letters.
You cannot be serious.
Have we been stalking someone's affair? Wouldn't be the first time.
I don't think the crows or Venatori will be happy these two are seeing each other. Those coffee cups on the table. They must have been at a nearby cafe. Let's see if there's any trace of them there.
Wait, okay, the what? I thought it was two crows betraying, but apparently it was a crow and a Venatori. What about these signs? I've not seen these anywhere else, to my knowledge, and they glow. They look like Minrathous style, you know, signage, because they have like a magical glow to them. Time to take Lucanis back to the cafe.
Oh, Minrathous needs one of these.
The Antam couldn't take the cafe. Too many poison cups.
That's excellent. I love that. That's the thing about the crows, is they might not attack outright, but they... but the thing is I think the Antam could just swarm the place. But they don't seem to be trying to interfere too much with regular business. Otherwise, like, the markets wouldn't be going. Even the Venatori are letting the markets go in Minrathous, you know? One of my coworkers was like, they put a coffee shop AU in the game. And I was like, what's wrong with that? Like... I think it's weird that we have coffee and we didn't call it by any other name. But like, and I didn't even think about it like that. But I was like, why do you hate joy? You know what I mean? I was like, it's cute. It's cute. You would have, I mean, Antiva is supposed to be like a merchant city, and it's a city with like love and passion and like art and stuff. Like you would have cafes. It's based off of, apparently, I'm like Italia. I was trying to say Italy. Italy. It's based off of Italy, apparently, even though I thought it was southern Spain. But you would have stuff like this. Like, I don't know. Like, what? Who hurt you? Why would you be? I'm just mad that they call it coffee. They needed to call it something else to make it more of like an in-world like drink, you know? Because coffee's literally never been a thing, you know. And it doesn't seem to be specific to Antiva, but like just call it something else, and maybe like, oh, it's a coffee shop, you know? Like, anyway, do whatever sparks joy.
The butcher wants to see Treviso? Then he shall. My father will throw a ball, and I will wear the best dress.
Yeah? Hey, that is an Inquisition bard song. Pearl, disaster, my love. The crows have somehow learned of our meetings, and I have heard the Venatori are hunting for a traitor, as if we'd sully our nights with anything to do with either of them. Those are for us, only us. Find me at the cafe. We must plan. I won't let us be caught. Neither of us deserves to suffer for something as fine as love. Always yours, Sable. It's interesting, because I would assume the Venatori are maybe trying to, like, manipulate the crow. But apparently, yeah, this is like a whole other thing where, like, apparently they're both in love, and I'm like, are you trying to tell me that some of the Venatori are people? Because, like, I'm not going to believe you. You know what I mean?
The Venatori are preparing an ambush for the crows, and they're trying to capture this secret couple to interrogate them.
Of course there will be.
We could send the couple a note. Warn them that the crows are hunting them too and that they should leave the city.
Why?
Or I could tell Chance that a crow's been seeing a Venatori.
Yes.
Not sure we'd be pleased to hear that.
No. The consequences of your actions. Like, if you're the reason that, like...
Whatever's happening outside, this is a safe place for a hot cup of coffee.
That would be nice. I don't know. If your illicit relationship is what got some people in trouble and got people killed, like, no. I don't know. There's consequences to your actions. I get it. I don't know. Maybe before I would have been like, love conquers all. Sometimes love conquers some things and gives you hope. Sometimes it gets people killed. I don't know. You can't tell. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm likening the Venatori to Nazis, right? And I'm like, no. You don't get to run around being an evil person and then, like, during the day and then having an illicit love affair at night and pretend that you're a person for that. You know what I mean? You're a monster. Like, you do terrible things, like, or at least condone them. Like, you joined this group, right?
You ask what I do when I finish a job. What about you? How does your infamous crow celebrate a finished contract? Moody contemplation? The finest wine in crystal glasses at your villa?
I prefer my moody contemplation with a good Antivan coffee.
Otherwise,
yes, you must find that pretentious.
I find it honest.
They're merging! You must find that pretentious. They're kissing. I'm sorry, come over here. Stop merging. It's weird. I don't know why BioWare decided that was a good idea to have you guys not have your body meshes, like, be noticeable. Oh, it's very weird. Just in general, it's weird.
There's apple here, blown glass. My best has eyes that close.
Fancy. My nana would sew rag dolls, but nothing like that.
Rags are classic. I bet they last forever.
Oh.
I thought they would.
Oh no. Tragedy. They got burned in a fire. Something terrible happened. No, I like that the guy too, for one thing. It's cute that a guy is like, especially like a stoic guy like this, is like, I like making dolls. And it's like, oh my gosh, yes, king. Like, you know, like, good for you. And then for another thing, it's like he's so enthusiastic about it, and it's the thing that she's getting to like kind of open up.
Your hand should follow your eyes, not the other way around.
Always look where you want it to land, right?
That's what my father said. We'd have grouse in the bag every time. Didn't like grouse much, but I liked the time my father and I spent together.
And then they all died. Anyway, also, what did I say? It's really cute that he likes to make dolls. Oh, but then he wasn't like a snob about dolls. You know, that he wasn't like, oh, the rag doll. You know, he's like, no, that's a classic. And I'm like, you're so nice. That's very nice of you. Anyway, I'm turning these people in. Maybe that's so mean of me. I don't know. There's like, I don't know. It's one of the... In Inquisition, I distinctly remember... Well, at least I let one of them go because the other one died. And it's like, oh, well, I can't really do anything about that. At least at the beginning in the hinterlands, right? You can recruit the woman who, like, basically threw her lover... She was a rogue mage, though, right? Or it's like... The rogue mages weren't just, like, willy-nilly... I mean, some of them were willy-nilly murdering people, but every mage was considered rogue, right? And some of them just wanted to live, you know? Some of them just wanted to leave, you know, and not be involved in any of the war or anything. They just wanted to, like, have rights, you know? So, it's a very different situation.
Chance, those spies you sent me after are a Venatori and a crow having an affair.
Huh? Ah, his fidgeting, his lateness, all those new clothes. Yet a crow is sworn against all enemies of Treviso. I recognize love's sting. But we must draw the poison.
The note also mentioned the Venatori was setting up an ambush for the crows.
That would explain their recent movements. We've reports that Venatori have been gathering near central Treviso. If it is to be a fight, we could use your help. And I will speak to our wayward crow.
Come on.
I mean,
Let's find where the crows are confronting the
You don't
Veilguard.
have to kill him, you know, and I don't know if they will. I doubt it, in fact, but, ooh. But at the very least, he needs to be told, like, yeah, you have greater responsibilities than this.
You're almost perfect at throwing them out.
Almost means there's still a ways to go.
You know? I don't know, I guess I don't like love. I don't know if I ever really did, like, the whole, like, Romeo and Juliet stories, but I don't really like... I like them sometimes.
You knew you would be a crow when you were young, right?
Yes, and I wanted to be, most of the time.
Bet you never saw all this happening.
No, I thought I'd have a pet wyvern by now. What about you? Did young Neve solve mysteries in Minrathos?
I was always stubborn and asked too many questions. Maybe all this was meant to be.
I love that they're, like, getting to know each other, and it's nice for me, right, to overhear getting to know each other as people, like, their pasts and stuff, you know, to kind of see where they came from. It's funny because I look back on my life, and I never liked history growing up. I always thought it was the same thing over and over. I've already said it before, and just boring, and I didn't like it. But, like, a lot of the stuff that I did as a kid, I'm looking back, and I'm like, it makes sense that I became an archaeologist, you know? So it's just kind of funny. Where you look
There's
back
the
and you're like,
experimental catlock.
oh yeah.
Looks like the Venatori and Arntom are guarding it, but they haven't set it up to explode yet.
At least they're in one place.
Oh hi.
Last you will ever see.
We need to get rid of the rest of this gatlock.
Neve is like exploding people with the ice. It's actually crazy. And I don't need Tosh. I realized I can do Tosh's thing. Ignite? What?
That's all the gatlock here. On to the next spot.
What? They're setting it up to blow it up, and our plan to make it not happen is to blow them up ourselves benignly, to benignly blow them up. That's not a thing you can do, especially with enhanced gatlock like this is. We should be throwing it in the water or something, you know, like at least like fade to black. We can be like, oh look, we found it, let's call in the crows and they can throw it out, you know, or take it and study it, like, you know, at least a little bit, not a lot, you know. I'm floored, honestly. What a choice. What a choice to get rid of an explosive by exploding it. I feel like I was talking about something else, but I'm so distracted. Bleed them? What? No, stop bleeding them. Hey. Ah! Warlords of the Under, but there's dead pig heads over there. It is easy to think that the Anton broke from the qunari as one, but the reality is that of a vase shattering into countless shards. He's broken in its own way, reflecting the warlord who now leads his kith. Some, like the Butcher and Treviso, use their new freedom to indulge in cultures long forbidden to them. Others, like the Atashok Dragon King, or Katari, Master Killer in Ravane. Both of them are in Ravane? Reject foreign cultures, neither lean on the trappings of the Antom or invent a heritage to inspire the loyalty of their soldiers. What seems consistent among the Antom warlords is cruelty, from Bakonasar, Flaming Wind, whose ships terrorize the northern coast, to Kashtar, Jewel Taker, whose kith have become a bandit army in the mountains outside Marietis. I believe the reason to be twofold. First, these Kithshoks fear that their army might turn upon them, as they turned upon the Arashok. So the Arashok is the leader of the Antom. So they drive their soldiers through fear. And second, there are very few kind and thoughtful Antom. This is an observation, not an insult. The Qun has two words. It was interesting to see what this is. Is this Janet TV? No, okay. this is an observation, not an insult, and I was curious where this was going to go. The qun has 2 words for healer. One is Rethari, a healer priest, whose name literally means one who helps. The other is Maradim, an Antam battlefield healer, whose name comes from the Mara Itwa Adim, or do not let them fall. Those under the qun have jobs selected for them by their teachers, so any young qunari too thoughtful or too sensitive for the harsh life of the Antam would have been made Rethari instead of Maradim. The qunari, in their wisdom, decided that all children who are naturally prepared to follow orders and hurt others should be placed in the Antam, and this is the result. In their wisdom. There are a few Antam, not Kithshaks, but individual soldiers who did not break from the qun. Their help is the only reason the betrayed Arishok survived. They and the former Arishok have renounced their Antam status and now serve under the defense branch of the Ben Hasrith as the qunari, their body in rebellion, to survive with mind and soul alone. What? So this is, holy cow, yes, because yeah, I don't know how to say it very well, but the Antam, that was the 3 branches, right? We've talked about with the qunari that all kind of like ruled conjointly, or had like different places that they came together. You had the Arishok who rules the Antam, or not rules but leads the Antam, and you had like, I can't remember the names, but the one who leads like the essentially the priest caste, you know, and the one that leads the Ben Hasreth, I think. No, I don't know, I don't remember now. Anyway, there's the 3 branches, right? And they're attributed to mind, soul, and body. But essentially, at this point, the qunari have, the way that they're operating is only with 2 branches of like the 3 essential forces. So with mind and soul, no body. And what's left of the Antam, the body, is now with the defense branch of the Ben Hasreth, which is going to be the body at this point, I guess. Their body in rebellion. Yeah, try to survive with mind and soul alone. Ben Hasreth is, I think, has not really had a place, like it kind of fell in between the cracks a bit. But it was essentially, I think, a branch of the Antam. But now what's left of the Antam is serving as part of the Ben Hasreth. The former Arishok also, we killed the one in, I think you can, I mean, you can let him live, but there's one in Dragon Age 2, you meet the Arishok, and you can kill him, or I think you can let him live, and, then the other option is that Sten, your friend from Origins, he becomes the Arishok, and that's, Sten was not kind, but I think after his experiences in the wider world, he becomes more, like, worldly in some ways. But yeah, it's interesting because the children who can think and hit, the way Bull says it is lie and hit, they get sent to the Ben Hasreth, where they have to be able to do a lot of things, not just war and not just follow orders. They have to be able to think on their own. Interesting that they're trying to be like making the Antam one massive, just like, I don't know, there can't be that many children born who are just mean, you know what I mean? Like it's part of like, it's like a training thing, you know, it's part of a being raised kind of a thing, like nurture versus nature, right? They can't all just be natural born mean, like they have to be raised to it in some way. But yeah, no, the qunari, their society is apparently, like, their culture, like, not their culture necessarily, but their societal order is, like, collapsing. The strongest shape is a pyramid, right? Or is a triangle / pyramid, right? When you make it 3D. And, like, a three-legged stool, that kind of a thing is, like, the three anything. It tends to be, like, the strongest shape known to, like, the physical plane, right? The most sturdy, and so that's one of the reasons I think that they had those 3, you know, so that they could always check and balance each other, essentially, and they all work in tandem to keep the qunari stable. And now to have one of those gone is why, like, and I thought it was just like a a little bit of the Entente, or I thought it was like maybe half the Entente, got bored with the war or the waiting or whatever it was, and took off. But apparently it was most of them. Most of them took off, which again is wild. Like they're literally trained from childhood to like follow the era shock. It would have to take some incredible persuasive rhetoric to like get them to move away from having the era shock as the leader. You know what I mean? Or like some insidious rhetoric that like worked its way from the bottom up, you know, somehow. So this feels like a little bit far-reaching to me, honestly. It's just like, oh yeah, we have to meet the qunari, the bad guys, so here's a reason that they're all off their rocker, but the whole of the qun isn't necessarily off the rocker, and it's like, there's just a little bit of questions in here, but it's like, also not unrealistic. I like, you know what I mean? It's I'm a 50-50 on like the reality of the situation, essentially, where like a part of me is like, there's no way this would happen, but I look at the real world and I'm like, just kidding, you know what I mean? Like, okay, never mind, you know, like there's nothing in particular I can think of off the top of my head, in part because I'm trying to not just like delve too far into it, but like, yeah, I could see how something like this could happen, but there would have to be a lot of stuff going on in the background, I think, for this to actually pan out this way. So they've renounced their Antam status and now are Ben Hasrath, the few Antam and Arashok. But I'm like, don't let them take the name from you. Like, this is also what frustrates me, is that like, just name them as Talvashoth. Name them Talvashoth. They've left the qun. That's what Talvashoth means. And this all happened prior to the gods coming out. Like, something else has to be going on. I know, what was his name? Solus was saying, like, corruption was rampant, and, like, that it was even in the qunari, you know, their, like, body, like, their governing body essentially was starting to show signs of corruption and all that stuff. But still, I need a little bit more info on this, because this is a lot. I feel like overall this is asking me to accept a lot of things that, like, all children who were following orders and mean and were bullies essentially got put in. I'm like, you have to realize that that's like the qunari wouldn't have been so stupid, I think, you know. They would have, I think, they had inclinations towards children who maybe were inclined to follow orders, but like not necessarily inclined to like violence, but could be taught violence, you know. Yeah. Anyway, maybe I'm just rambling. We have some Gray Warden lore. The Archdemon Bones. Dumbest thing I ever did was start that stupid fight. Yeah, I had too much ale. Yeah, my mouth gets away from me. And yeah, I shouldn't have punched Pike. How was I supposed to know our commander was in the tavern? And now he's banished us to stand guard in this horrible place, the Cauldron. Today they hauled in some Archdemon Bones. It was enough to drive me to drink again. Just knowing they were sitting there in the vault, all that darkness and evil still lingering, I can smell it. And there are other things in those vaults that shouldn't be. Some odd skeletons. Pike says they look like griffin bones, but I don't want to think about that. The ale can only numb so much. A letter written by Warden Isaac of the Cauldron Brigade. Yikes! What a brigade to be a part of. Hey, from Davern's Journal, Griffin Extinction Part 2. Did I? No. Okay. There's several in here. Jeez, I can't get what we saw at the Griffin or at the Cauldron out of my mind. A whole room of griffin skeletons. It didn't seem real at first. Griffins had become almost a myth in Warden history, just something we read about in books. Then 13 of them pop up alive, and now at least 100 dead ones today. When I was looking at how they disappeared all those years ago, I never wondered where they were buried. But now it's the main question: why weren't they given proper graves? Why were so many of them being hidden in the same place we hide dead archdemons? The Cauldron is where dangerous secrets are concealed from the world, not griffins. It bothers me that the Gloom Howler is the one to bring all this to light. We have been breaking down the Gray Warden since Inquisition. Well, since Dragon Age 2, honestly, with one of the DLCs. You know, it's like you put them in such lofty heights, and then like it's like, well, here's all these secrets that such an organization would have, you know. And it's like, yeah, like there's nothing about like the ritual, like the joining ritual, that makes you into a good person. You know what I mean? Like the people who join are just people, often at the end of their rope. I'm not saying that they're bad. Oftentimes the Grey Wardens are a chance for people who have done terrible things to have redemption in their lives, you know? And they all tend to be pretty self-sacrificing in a lot of ways. But it's interesting to point here, because I'm like, okay, like the way that the griffins were buried was not necessarily a bad way. There's plenty of traditions where like bones are buried and then uncovered, or a body is buried and then the bones are uncovered years later and put in sort of in urns or in other burial situations, maybe with others, you know. And you'll sometimes you will find them in jars or in the cracked remnants of jars around them, you know, sometimes cremated, sometimes just like, you know, natural decay over time and then being unexhumed and put into jars or whatever. It's not an unheard of thing. It's not disrespectful in any way, necessarily, but I guess in this situation where the griffins are buried in a place of dark secrets next to archdemon bones, that is potentially the provenience, essentially, that I didn't take into account. The like not just like the method of burial in urns in walls, you know, with a mysterious plaque somewhere, you know, supposedly. But yeah, the griffins should have been buried with full honors and like their graveyard left in a place of honor, not hidden next to, you know, some of the most evil things on the world, you know, the archdemon bones. So that is interesting. That's an interesting point. From Davern's journal, The Cauldron. They weren't kidding about the Cauldron. I'd heard rumors over the years about some secret warden fortress, but I'd also heard rumors about Weishaupt was built on a mountain of gold hoarded by greedy dwarves. Most of these tales start over an ale at the tavern and get wilder by the end of the night. Not this one. The Cauldron has to be the scariest place I've ever been. It was as close to breathing in pure evil as I've ever experienced. Dead griffins, dead archdemons, all the nightmares locked away for hundreds of years, oozing darkness. If I don't survive this, if the worst happens to the wardens, at least this will serve as proof that the Cauldron is real, and anyone reading this should never think about going there. Which is for sure going to drag somebody there at some point. That's just what you do, right? You're like, ooh, secret, hidden, forbidden, evil place that maybe it has answers. Dun, 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 dun. The Gloom Howler Part 2. Again, I don't know why I'm reading Davern's journal, but this Gloom Howler is a whole new class of monster. It's smarter than anything else I've hunted before. It knows things it shouldn't. It controls darkspawn, and now it's laid a trap for us at the Cauldron. The fact that it found the Cauldron was bad enough. It was just right there. It's on the surface. The Cauldron's just right there. It must be going after Gray Wardens for information, which explains how it knows so much. I can't imagine what that's like, enduring torture at the hands of such a nightmarish fiend. Nothing in any of the bestiaries I've read comes close to describing this thing. My only lead is a scrap of cloth that Hassan tore off in the fight at the Cauldron. Maybe that will give us something to go on. I have to find this monster. The griffins' lives depend on it. I mean, the thing is it must be sucking the memories out of the Gray Wardens or something, because there's no way it had time to torture people as we were chasing it. You know what I mean? I think it's just killing them and sucking their memories out somehow. Do we have more? Nope. Okay, and the mementos are ones that we've already looked at, but it doesn't seem to notice that I look at them. Alright, this is potentially what I'm going to call this episode, unless I end up smashing it together with another one, which is entirely possible. We'll see. But yeah, thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. Really quick, I'm going to cut away and say thank you to my patrons. I want to say thank you to all my patrons, starting out with my Acorn tier patrons. Thank you so much, Fane, for your support, and thank you so much, Leo, for your support. If I say that wrong, I'm so sorry. I want to give an extra special shout out to my Sapling tier patrons. Thank you so much, Reese Galito, for your support. I very much appreciate it, and I still appreciate the blanket. Thank you. And I really want to say thank you to my other supporter, Sebastian James, my old friend. Thank you so much for your support. I very much appreciate you as well. And I want to give an extra special shout out to my Forest tier patrons who have gone above and beyond in their support of me in the channel and who I truly cannot thank enough. So thank you so much, Christopher, as always, for your support. I treasure it a lot. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Nightshade, for joining the crew up there in the forest. I appreciate you so much, and I hope you're enjoying the videos. So thank you all again for joining me and for being on Patreon and watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.